Let's talk about materials in Substance Painter. So materials can be found in the shelf, and to open the shelf, you can just go to Window, Views, Shelf, and you have to go to the Materials tab. And what materials do is when they're added to a model, they create a fill layer with unique properties, and in some cases, a pattern, a design, some kind of texture, and they modify the appearance of that object. So if we drag in this iron diamond armor to this model, you can see that it's added this effect, right? This texture that has unique properties. And we can adjust those properties by clicking on the fill layer that it created. And for example, if we want to scale this up or down, we can do that. So if we want these little diamonds to be smaller, we can make them very small, or we can increase the size by adjusting the scale. You can also adjust the rotation. So if you want them at an angle, you can do that, and you can be precise. So if I want it to be exactly 45 degrees, I can angle it in that way. Or if I want it to be 90, I can do that as well. And there's also the offset. So you can see here, let's actually decrease this so you can see it a little bit better. So it's kind of dragging it in different directions. So one is like the forward and backward, and the other is like left and right. So this can be useful for fine tuning the results. Same thing with the scale and the rotation. So that's why I'm calling these out. And then also, let's increase this to 2. We have the projection mode. So UV projection, if you hit F1, it'll actually project onto your UVs directly. So wherever there's seams, you will generally find that the results appear a certain way. And then like the breaks in the seam, it will be slightly different because of the way it maps the texture. So you can actually see it here. And then we also have triplanar, which tries to blend like the two sides. So it maps it on each side in 3D and then tries to blend the results. So you can see here, this is like that blending. So if I rotate it, you can kind of see where the triplanar is trying to take effect. And in some cases, this can look good. And then we also have planar, which just maps it to one, like both sides on either side. And then everything in between is like super stretched. So this can be okay in some instances. So you kind of have to play with it. Depends on how your model's UV'd and what your model looks like. Then we have spherical. So spherical creates a sphere. And then that sphere maps the texture, so it's can be kind of strange, like the results can look kind of crazy. But those are the major types. You'll probably mostly be using UV projection or triplanar. So for example, if you did an armor piece and you wanted it to have this texture, what you could do is you could have your armor piece just be like a solid object, like its own object, and it could be either UV'd in a way where the seams aren't visible, and then you could easily use this. So like if this is all that's visible, then you don't have to worry about the seams. If the seams either aren't visible, or if it's just like a hollow model that doesn't have like it's just it just has one face, like it just has one side, and it's not fully solid, you could get away with it by doing that as well. So there's a few different ways to achieve good results with materials. But to use the materials, you just simply drag and drop them. You can also combine them. So if you wanted to see what they look like, some will show through, some won't. In the case of this one, it's taking some time to load. Some materials are also faster or slower depending on how much is in them. There's also different settings that you can customize, and each material has different settings as well. So if I increase the size of this, now it looks like this is a cushion. So materials can get pretty advanced. There's also, you can also download free materials from Substance Share. And you can see that you can combine these. And I have this like weird metal couch look. So you can kind of get a little crazy. But these, like under the material settings, you click on it. You can actually toggle these on and off, like the height, the roughness, the metallic, the color. And then you can also adjust the settings. Now each material has different settings. So for example, this iron has like color, so I can change the color. Now we have a drastically different result. And then of course you can mask materials, but I'll go over that in a separate video. But that's pretty much it for the basics of materials. You basically just drag and drop them and customize them as needed. You can mix them as well. So it can give you pretty good results. And there's definitely more to it than just this, but this is just the introduction video. So thanks for checking this out. Definitely like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this or found this useful, and I'll see you in the next one.